Hi there again, and welcome back to Brew Report, where this week we're tasting Kaya. Now this is a collaboration between two brewers that we already know, that we've already tasted before. The first of those is Brew York, based up in York. They are known for brewing a delicious, rich, chocolatey beer. They're brewing now in collaboration with Gwei Lo, based in Hong Kong, so quite a long way away. And they're known for bringing their unusual, tropical, exotic flavors to the mix. And we've got nothing short of that here. This is a Pandan, coconut and coffee milk stout. While Gwei Lo is based in Hong Kong, well, they brew out of Hong Kong, they actually have their origins in York. So in a way, this beer is them returning to their roots, which is quite a nice little circular journey. This brings a range of adjuncts, a range of additions that I've never seen in a beer before. Coffee is pretty normal, honestly, in every coffee, breakfast, stout, whatever. You see that all over the place. Coconut even, it's not normal, but it's definitely something I've seen before. It's definitely something we've come across. Pandan leaf, on the other hand, that's a very different story. Pandan leaf is a very aromatic, very fragrant leaf that's often used in desserts, in Thai food and in other sort of East Asian cuisine. It's beautiful used to sort of spike sort of ice cream or sort of like a sort of pandan mochi. Beautiful used in like sweet glutinous rice desserts. I'm intrigued to see exactly what it does to a beer. I'm hoping that that beautiful aroma is going to permeate that and help to bring some lightness, bring some nice sort of perfumed characters to what's otherwise likely to be quite a rich, dark beer. Let's find out. This beer is 5.2% alcohol by volume. It does contain milk, so it's not suitable for vegans, and it does also contain gluten. Let's take a quick look at the can. It's typical Brew York design. Definitely Brew York has taken the lead on the design of this one. But in terms of the design, let's take a look at the can to start with. And it's clear already, Brew York has taken the lead on the format, on the design of this can. It's got their sort of standard formatting, but it's also got this beautiful motif, this beautiful print pattern of coconuts and pandan leaves and toast, flowers, stars, moons and everything else. It's very pretty in a way that I wouldn't necessarily expect from a milk stout. You know, normally when you see milk stouts, when you see coffee milk stouts, they're generally quite dark and aggressive and maybe even a little intimidating. This is nothing like that. This is very welcoming in terms of the beer. You also get this very fun little star chart on the back. I don't know how well you can see that. Giving an impression of what to expect from it. Apparently it's very malty, very sweet, very thick mouthfeel, a little bit of bitterness, and very low levels of hops and fruit. Checking out the appearance of the beer itself, it's this very deep, rich, cola, nutty brown. A very dark beer, fairly opaque. There was a little bit of light shining through when we were pouring it, but in the glass, it's pretty much completely opaque. And the head, the little head that was there, is dissipated to a fine sort of caramel-covered lacing fairly quickly. The aroma is predominantly coffee and milk. It's very dark, very roasty. It's like Italian roasted coffee, which generally runs a little bit darker. But there's that creaminess there from the milk. There's also a hint of sort of sweetness in there, which I think must be the coconut. Slight bit of sweetness, which could be the lactose, it could be the coconut, not really sure yet which of those it is. I'm not getting any of that sort of aroma, that perfumed pandan character coming from it, but we'll see what happens on the palate. Let's start with the mouthfeel, because I know how I feel about the mouthfeel. That is a very pleasant level of oily thickness. It's not too much, it's not slick, it's not soapy or anything like that. It's just thick enough to feel like, yes, I'm drinking a milk stout, I'm drinking a heavy beer. And for something that's 5.2%, this is doing very well. It's punching above its weight in terms of the mouthfeel there. So that's a really good job. It's definitely putting that lactose to good use. In terms of the flavour, more of that coffee, more of that sort of roasty, dark, charcoaly, slightly smoky characteristic coming from that. Then you get the lactose, that milky sweetness, and there's definitely more to it than that milk sweetness in there. There's definitely some coconut sweetness coming through there as well. That slightly lighter, fruitier sweetness coming out of it. Somewhere in there, there's a touch of something else. And I just feel like the Pandan is trying to get out in this. It's trying its best to come through, but it's just getting lost amongst everything else, which is a shame, because other than that disappointment of not getting the Pandan in it, I'm really enjoying this beer. It's got that beautiful coffee bitterness coming through. There's a good amount of malts, a lactose, the mouthfeel is excellent. I'm getting that coconut sweetness bursting through. If this had just been a coffee coconut stout or coffee coconut milk stout, I would be delighted with this. As it is, I've been promised Pandan, and that's not really coming through. What kind of value for money are we getting for this beer? I bought this from Honest Brew. There you can get it at the non-members price for around £5.19, £5.20, something around those lines. Broadly speaking, £5 a can for a 440ml can, 5.2%. In terms of just alcohol for the money, that's not amazing, but I would argue for the quality of beer you're getting here, you're actually getting a very good deal. The downside to it all, the one complaint, as I mentioned before, is just that this claims to be a Pandan leaf beer, and you just don't get any Pandan leaf out of it. And I worry, because if you are a big Pandan leaf fan, if you come from an Asian background and you love Pandan desserts, and you were expecting that, then this beer is going to let you down. If, on the other hand, you are a massive fan of coffee stouts, of milk stouts, of chocolate stouts, you like the idea of mixing coconut into the mix, making it a little more tropical, a little sweeter, a little more funky, then this is a phenomenal beer. And I think generally this is a very good, tasty beer for your stout fans, for your craft beer fans. Honestly, would still heartily recommend it. Just be warned that Pandan isn't really going to feature. But that's just what I think. What I want to hear next is, what did you think? Are you a big fan of Kaya? Did you enjoy drinking this? Did you pick up the Pandan leaf notes that I was missing? Are there other Pandan beers that I should try next? Whatever your thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, do please give it a like, check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and go to brewreport.co.uk, where you can check out my full back catalogue of reviews, of beer notes, of pub reviews, of travel blogs, the works. And until next week, happy drinking.